Sadly, this is the last episode of Mackenzie's on the Move as our adventure is coming to a close. I'm really going to miss this island of Corsica with its wild and beautiful beaches, its lack of people, and its real rugged feel. For anybody that wants to plan a holiday for next year, check out Corsica. From the high end down to budget camping, it's got it all. So during this episode, you're going to follow us with our last day here on the beach in Corsica. And then later on this evening, we're going to sail down to Porto Vecchio. And then the day after, we are going to sail across to the northwestern part of Sardinia before making our 250-mile non-stop trip back to Mallorca to finish the adventure. Don't get me wrong, I love my home island of Mallorca and its beaches there, but they're never as quiet as this. Okay, during this last episode, as it comes to a close, I'm going to throw in some interesting facts about our 10-week adventure. The first fact is the amount of ice creams that we consumed as a family over a 10-week period, 216. So the first part of our trip home starts today. We're going to be leaving this beach in the southeastern part of Corsica, and we are going to be heading 20 miles downwind to Porto Vecchio, where we're going to spend the night and refuel, restock with water and food in the morning before leaving for Sardinia. What a cracking sail we had as well, downwind in 20 knots as the sun dipped down beneath the horizon. Spectacular. So here we are in this beautiful town and citadel of Porto Vecchio again. I'm just filling up with water on the water pontoon, and Kirsten's at the supermarket just going to stop up our food stores for the trip back. Corsica really had so much to offer, and Porto Vecchio was one of the highlights. This citadel really was a lot of fun, very beautiful, as well as Calvi and Bonifacio too. We're all really going to miss Corsica. I'm not sure when we're going to make it back again, but we're certainly going to make an effort in the future, either by camper van or by boat. Such a cracking island. Okay, it's time to go, Corsica. Onwards to Sardinia. So the second part of our leg begins. We're going to be leaving Porto Vecchio, heading down to the southern part of Corsica, past the Maddalena Islands, and then we've got a 65-mile crossing to the northwestern part of Sardinia, where there's a reserve where we're going to stop for a day and have an explore. It was a cracking sail again, nice light wind sail. We had a great time. It was a cracking sail, and we got into our anchorage in Stintino in Sardinia around midnight. We awoke to a beautiful sunrise and a cracking anchorage with more turquoise water than you've ever seen. So first on the list is to head to the town of Stintino, where I'm just going to top up my fuel tanks just in case. Okay, fuel tanks topped up, back to the anchorage, so quick run ashore to have an explore by foot, and then I'll come back, get the kids, the electric scooters, and we'll head back and have a proper explore with the scooters and see what we can find. Busy days. This looks like a great spot to leave the dinghy. Wow, great spot to come and dump the rubbish and go for a run. It doesn't get much better than this, I swear. Really pretty. Well, I wasn't really planning on it, but after seeing how cool this area is and this reserve is, I think it's time to fly the drone and just capture the last day in Sardinia by drone. Now you finish your lunch, who wants to go ashore with the dinghy, with the electric scooters, to go and explore Stintino?
Me!
Yeah, let's go! Okay, before we go, just this morning's effort at making a camp.
So, and look under here.
Yeah, camp under there.
Then we've got another camp under here.
Another camp under there. Oh, hi Emmy.
And then we've got a little camp under here.
Another camp under there.
And here's another camp for my
camp over there. Nice one. Now can we go to Stintino?
Yeah!
Okay, ready Jake?
Yeah!
Ready? takes us up to 220 ice creams. Last time stepping on Italian soil. Say goodbye to Italy, Jakey. Beautiful sunset for the last evening in Sardinia. Okay, it's time to leave for Mallorca. The weather isn't looking too bad. For the first 24 hours after leaving Sardinia, we're going to have very light winds and probably be motoring or motor sailing most of the way. And then as we're halfway across, we start to have a strong wind from behind us, which should push us with some good speed past Menorca and then on to the north of Mallorca and home. Au revoir, Corsica. So before we lose internet, Kirsten does 2 or 3 hours work first thing in the morning before the kids wake up, and then they join us. Charades is always a winner. So this first day on passage we all enjoyed very much, with nice light winds and calm seas. Quality time together. So fact number 2 was going to inform you that after 600 miles of trawling 6 different lures at different times to try and catch a fish of some kind, I'd only caught 0 fish and 2 pieces of plastic. Luckily we just missed this sea turtle, and then I had a big bite, so I rushed back to the rod and I had caught something very large, either a large tuna I presume or a sailfish, and my rod and line just couldn't keep up with it. Sadly I lost it. And before you say it, no, it wasn't the sea turtle that I just missed, it was a fish. So the long night begins. You know, I'm pretty certain I'm going to win this game of Connect 4 one way or the other. I tell you, it's harder than you think to stay awake all night when it's quiet with no real shipping and no real winds. So it's 4 a.m. and Kirsten's come to relieve me for a couple of hours until sun up.
what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now.
So as forecast, 24 hours after leaving, the wind starts to fill in from behind and really push us along at a good speed.
I wanna wake up with you in the morning.
Just as the kids wake up for breakfast time. Where are we gonna be tonight? Gonna make some more Mackenzie's on the Move videos?
Yeah, in Anarwo. About walking to school, making breakfast, and waking up and driving to school sometimes. And also me rollerblading. And me skateboarding.
Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Say what you wanna say to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Show me there's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning. We can do nothing at all. So what? If you're stupid, then you know it's nothing wrong. But you need
So during the second 24 hours, I think I put this light wind sail up 4 or 5 times. As the seas built from behind us, we started to roll from side to side quite badly. Sometimes it's the most uncomfortable point of sail when you're racing downwind. Although here it doesn't look like we're moving too much, I tell you, when you do this for 24 hours, it becomes absolutely exhausting. You can't make cups of tea, you can't make any food, you can't use the bathroom, you can't sleep. This is how it is when it's speeded up a little bit. Although it doesn't look like much, if you keep this up for hours on end, it becomes absolutely exhausting. So Sod's Law, a couple of hours out from arriving back in Mallorca, the winds pick up past the 25 knot mark and the seas really start to build. Just before I have to head back into the wind, drop all the sails, put all the fenders out and navigate into a very small, narrow port when I haven't had any sleep for 40 hours. It's always the way, but I'm ready for it. So 1:30 a.m. when we arrived back in the port, a good friend of mine, David Pulverini, had ridden up from Palma in his shorts on a motorcycle to bring us pizza, which Jake loved first thing in the morning. Okay, time to pack up the boat, after a short run of course. So back safe and sound in our home berth in Baleares in Mallorca. So time to pack up all the bags, clean the boat, hop in a taxi and make our way back home. At this point, the kids are really excited to get back home and play with some of their toys and meet up with some of their friends that they missed the most. Hey, welcome home! Back for me, it was a proper anticlimax. You happy to be back?
God, it feels so big.
So we are finally back home after our 10-week adventure, and it was a complete success. I hope you enjoyed the videos. We had a whale of a time. It's kind of how I thought the 10 weeks would go. I knew all the cruising grounds, so there's no hidden surprises, but with the kids and the sailing and the boat and everything, it went really well, and we're definitely going to do it again. So we shall definitely make a series 2, which will be at a later date in the Caribbean on an Outremer catamaran. That's in the process, but it'll be a while away. I have to now go back to work with a new boat with my boss, so I'm going to be super busy for a couple of years and spending most of my time in Turkey, Greece and Croatia, or maybe some work and trips in Spain too in the winter. So what did we do? We did 1,600 miles on the boat, 500 was motoring. We used just under 300 litres of fuel. As you saw, we didn't catch one fish. We hooked one, but we didn't catch it. The favourite part for me was sailing the Outremer. and Corsica rocked. I love Corsica and of course visiting Bonifacio. What was your favourite part of the 10-week adventure, Amy?
All of it.
All of it! Wow, nice answer.
Me was going to the water park at France and
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
all
Yeah,
of
the
it.
water park in Le Grand Mart, that's when we visited
Yeah.
the Outre-mer. And the adventure one up in the air where you were climbing and zip lining and...
Yeah, and we did the climbing and the zip lining,
Yeah,
the bouncy park,
yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
everything else.
And everything else.
And your most favourite town? Where the big sweet shops are? Can you remember what it was called?
Amy?
Bonifacio.
Yeah.
Bonifacio was the favourite all round.
Yeah.
What was the part about the trip that you didn't like?
So I got a cut in my foot
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
and nothing.
that's it. Amy, you just enjoyed it all.
Then
So-
I did a cut in my foot and I've been hurting myself a lot.
Oh, you did fall over a lot. You're in the walls a lot.
wars. So the kids only got seasick once, and they only took seasick tablets 4 times, I think, in 10 weeks. The maximum wind strength we had 2 lots of gale force winds that only lasted about 12 hours. That was more than sort of 35 knots. The rest of the time it was good. We never had any problems with the boat. We had 1 broken zip and 1 broken piece of plastic because I over tightened it, but no breakdowns, no real damage.
No. Nothing went wrong,
Nothing.
strangely.
So,
Well done.
I'm really glad that you all enjoyed the 10 episodes, or I hope you did. There will be another series just in a while from now. So, enjoy life, have as many adventures as you can, and don't be frightened of anything, just go do it. Bye from the Mackenzies!
Bye.
Ciao!